Hola banda, vamos a continuar la historia donde nos quedamos al
I
capítulo
got the sense
pasado.
Edie had spent a lot of time here before my mom sealed the doors.
En el capítulo pasado leímos el diario de Molly y pues aquí nos quedamos. Vamos a seguirle con la continuación del juego.
I can't describe it, but I felt like some part of Molly was still here.
Ok, ¿para dónde vamos? Ah, ok, del otro
This will be
lado.
obvious later, but my mom never told me any of these stories. Edie would have, but Mom didn't like bringing up the past. Though, when we adopted a stray kitten, she was the one who named it Molly.
Ah, es donde estábamos, donde estaba la chimenea. Nosotros estábamos aquí abajo. Ok.
I spent a lot of time in Great-Grandma Edie's room. Her room was like a museum. For 500 years, the Finches have been famous throughout Norway for their fortune and misfortune.
Ok. Odín. Ok, vamos a echar otro vistazo. Ya. A ver, antes de salir, vamos a ver qué hay por aquí. Ah, un tiburoncito. Ok. Una puerta. Ah, aquí hay una cosa.
One summer, they evacuated the island, but Edie refused to go. For a few weeks, she was a celebrity. I hadn't thought of myself as Edith Jr. for a long, long time. Edie gave a big interview about a mole man living under the Finch house. My mom was furious.
Ok.
When Edie told people Sven was killed by a dragon, she could also have said he was building a dragon-shaped slide that collapsed. She could have, but she didn't.
Ok. Si las letras pasan muy rápido y no alcanzan a leerlas, lo recomendable es que pausen el video y lo lean para que le
Even in
vayan
her
entendiendo
90s,
la historia.
sometimes Edie seemed a lot younger than my mother.
Ok.
The only trace Grandpa Sam's first wife, Kay, left on the house was the pink bathroom. It was a pretty big trace.
Que hay algo.
There's a secret in this bathroom. It's in the last place you would look. It isn't in the cupboard. It's hidden in this book.
Ándale. tener uno así en mi casa. Okay.
Sven gave Sam an old camera he'd refurbished. He never put it down.
Es como un cuarto de... ¿Cómo se les llama a esos cuartos donde revelan las fotos? Bueno, no sé con precisión, pero supongo que es un cuarto de esos. Es un columpio, una luna, un señor, un venado. Otro columpio. Dice Milton. Estoy guardando.
I knew Grandpa Sam had a twin, and that he never talked about him. I guess my grandpa didn't like history any more than my mom did.
How I Want to Remember My Brother by Sam Finch. The thing I remember is that when he made up his mind, that was it.
Ahora está en el columpio.
My brother said he'd die before he ate another mushroom. And he did. At Barbara's funeral, we swore we'd never be afraid again. And he wasn't. I think Calvin always wanted to fly.
Acá le puedo aventar.
Sam! Calvin! Dinner's ready! Coming!
But that day, he finally made up his mind to do it. I told him going around was impossible. Maybe if I hadn't said that,
Calvin, I'm not gonna tell you again.
maybe if the wind hadn't picked up, then maybe he'd still be here. But I doubt it. I think he'd already made up his mind. That's what I want to remember about my brother. The day he made up his mind to fly. And he did.
Calvin's story felt strangely familiar. When I was younger, I remember trying to do the exact same thing.
Ok, se suicidó. Quería ser astronauta, quiso intentar volar, Pero pues no pudo volar.
After the funeral,
Lamentablemente no pudo volar.
Edie roped off Calvin's half of the room.
Ah, ok. Aquí los dos se estaban midiendo. Oh, qué lindo. Ok, ahora para dónde vamos. Por aquí. No sé cómo rayos construyeron esta casa con pasadizos secretos, pero se ve súper genial. Luego los pasadizos secretos son muy complejos.
The passages were a pretty tight fit. They'd obviously been built for smaller hands and bellies.
Ok, esa es una calavera. Bueno, ahorita aquí no salimos. Primero vamos aquí. Ah, ok, aquí era donde estábamos. Primero. Sí, aquí era donde estábamos primero. ¿De dónde salimos? Ah, salimos de aquí. Sí, habíamos visto esto. No, pues sí. Es la habitación de Bárbara. Pero creo donde vamos a entrar es en la habitación de Bárbara.
Growing up, I always thought of Barbara as a child star.
Bárbara. Su hermanita.
I never thought about how hard it must have been for her afterwards.
Bárbara.
Of all the stories people wrote about Barbara's death, I'm surprised Edie saved this one.
Old Jack here with another ghastly tale inspired by America's most unfortunate family. I'm calling it The Surprise Ending of Barbara Finch. As a child star, Barbara was famous for her scream. Now at 16, she was all washed up. A has-been. But in a lucky break, she'd been asked to perform her signature scream at a local convention for monster movie fans. It was just the boost her career needed. Unfortunately, her scream hadn't aged well.
Getting better. I think you just need the right motivation.
Her biggest fan and current boyfriend, Rick, was about to demonstrate when...
Now that was a great scream.
It was Barbara's father, Sven. He'd slipped into a table saw and had to be rushed to the emergency room. So Barbara got stuck babysitting her youngest brother, Walter. Her convention comeback was cancelled.
Okay, I'm hearing frustration, but I'm not hearing terror. What if I tried...
A gang of hoodlums in Halloween masks have been terrorizing Orcas Island tonight. Police are urging residents to...
That came from the basement.
You're right! Also, I loved your delivery on that. Why is your basement door locked?
Because my dad likes making puzzles and secret passages. There's a key hidden in the music box. The secret is to keep winding and winding until finally the key pops out.
Thanks, babe. I'll be back in a sec.
20 minutes later, Rick hadn't returned. So Barbara went to...
Ok, se puede poner pausa, eso es bueno. Entonces la caja que estaba abajo, en la planta de abajo, es girar, 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 girar. Y ahí sale la llave. A la hora que sale la llave, podemos ingresarla para meternos al sótano. O bueno, eso lo intentamos ahorita. Vamos a seguir leyendo.
Look for him, right on cue. She reached for the music box.
Ok, tenemos que interactuar.
And as she wound the
Giramos,
key, she
giramos,
listened for
giramos.
Rick, but the house was silent.
Ah, ok, nosotros manejamos esto. La canción de Halloween, me encanta esa canción de Halloween.
She found Rick's crutch and imagined the worst.
Ok, podemos ver.
The gang's leader is the infamous Hookman killer, Dr. Carl Hamill, who impaled and then ate his family 10 years ago tonight.
Ok, vamos primero esto. Vamos a seguir por acá.
The old fridge rattled and grew still.
Golpéalo.
Oh!
Rick?
Barb, relax. I was just trying to scare you to help you find your scream.
Well, I'm not scared, Rick. I'm furious.
Then act furious. All I'm getting from you now is that you're hurt and confused and you're...
She threw him out, but she kept a little something to remember him by.
Barb, have you seen my other crutch?
And she was still holding it when she fell asleep watching the late picture show. Hours later...
Barbara! Walter, what's going on up there? Ah! Okay, I'm coming up, but if this is a trick, you're dead, Walter.
Ah, nosotros interactuamos, ok. Tenemos que subir allá arriba. Ah, es la casa, todo esto es la casa. Vamos a subir. Nos aventaron un patín. Qué agresividad. ¿Para dónde? ¿Por acá? No, es por aquí. Walter Finch.
Walter, are you there?
Walter had vanished, but his bedside radio was still on.
Orcas Island police describe the man as 6 feet tall, with a steel hook for a hand. Residents are urged to lock all doors and windows and notify the police of any suspicious activity.
Barbara turned, saw the Hookman, and was speechless. He was quite smashing. He couldn't get enough of Barbara.
Okay, Barbara, there's gotta be another way out of here.
Tenemos que escapar de aquí. Aquí. Ah, pues aquí está el pasadito secreto.
That night, she played her part beautifully.
Ok, este es el cuarto de la chica. Este el baño. Este es el
Hadn't been opened in years. The hinges groaned. He wasn't moving, but she sensed the story might not be over yet.
Ahí tenemos que dejar. Ah, ya no está.
The Hookman had vanished. She listened for his breathing, but all she heard was...
Ok.
Someone at the door was dying to speak to young Barbara. At the door, she heard whispering. It was coming from inside the house.
Ah, hay dos güeyes
Oh,
atrás.
dear.
The monsters had come to surprise her. For Barbara, it was a dream come true. Then she saw what kind of monsters they were, and she realized what was about to happen. She was going to be famous. And with her final breath, Barbara Finch gave the performance of her life. I wasn't there myself, but I hear Barbara was magnificent. Poor girl. She had a taste for stardom. But unfortunately, so did her fans. Of course, the police blamed it all on poor Rick, who disappeared the same night. And little Walter? Hiding under his bed the whole time. He took it all pretty hard, but that's another story. As for Barbara, tucked inside the music box is all they ever found of her. Her ear. Now that's what I call a real eerie tale.
Ok, ok. Y la oreja ahí. No, qué tranza.
Edie told me all Barbara wanted was to be remembered, as absurd as that comic was. Maybe what Edie saw was a happy ending.
Ok. Ok, me gustó mucho la historia. Realmente sí me gustó mucho. Ok, lo estamos guardando. Regresamos por aquí.
I guess now I know why Mom didn't like me playing with the music box.
Ok, pero quiero intentarlo. Vamos a ir a la caja de música. 。 Ok. Vamos a girarla. Oh, sí funcionó. Ok, guardando. Amigos, vamos a dejar el capítulo hasta aquí. Realmente me ha gustado mucho. Creo el capítulo fue muy corto. Realmente no sé cuánto estuve grabando. Y si siguen apoyando los episodios, pues más adelante vamos a seguir haciendo más series de otros juegos. Y pues muchas gracias. Espero y sigan apoyando al canal. Y nos vemos. Hasta la próxima.